Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlota. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tigers Live. I'm your host, Francis Carlota, host of Tigers Live for Bluff City Media. Welcome, everybody, to the show. The Memphis Tigers get a solid 83-71 win over the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. Throw that ticker up there. 83-71, Memphis over Tulsa. Yeah, solid win. Not a monumental blowout. Yes, Memphis was only up by 5 at halftime, but I'll take it. Solid performance, solid win, especially leading up to a pretty big game against Temple, a get-back game against Temple Sunday. So, yeah, good win for the Tigers. We got a big show coming for you. I'll be joined by Roman Cleary in just a second, and then we'll go to a commercial break, and I'll be joined by the man himself, Kenny Stubblefield, and we'll break this thing all the way down. Good night for Memphis Tigers hoops, and we'll talk through it all in just a few moments. I do see that Roman Cleary has joined the stream, so let me go ahead and add him now. Roman, how you doing?
Francis, how are you, man? I'm good.
I'm well. Doing well. Yeah, good win for Memphis. Not a crazy blowout that maybe some were expecting, but still, nevertheless, a good win. Roman, how you feeling about that performance?
Yeah, it was a real nice job, I think, by Memphis to kind of push away in the second half. They got a real good push from Tulsa, which I kind of expected if you read my preview heading into this game. I mean, yeah, it was kind of a revenge game of sorts for them because of P.J. Haggerty leaving and 7 players from last year's Tulsa team that did play with Haggerty, at least to an extent, were on this year's team as well. They came to town. So there was undeniably going to be some type of, revenge, get-back factor in this game for the Golden Hurricane. But I feel like Memphis did a great job of kind of withstanding the first half fight that Tulsa brought to really, again, just kind of push away in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. Yeah, this was definitely, I'm sure, a game that Tulsa had circled on the calendar for sure entering this matchup. So, yeah, like you said, Memphis did a good job pulling away in the second half. The issues that they had in the first half, we'll talk about them. But, yeah, solid win for Memphis for sure. Timo says here, nice win. Nothing to really write home about. Turnovers were down. The bench gave us a nice spark with pressing there. Yeah, the turnovers, Roman. Pretty good performance for Memphis, taking care of the basketball. They're playing much more slowly and clearly taking care of the ball. How are you feeling about the offensive performance for the Tigers tonight?
Yeah, no, it was very smooth, very clean, very efficient. Some awesome three-point shooting from Memphis in the second half, obviously. And it was very good offense in the first half, too. It was just kind of overshadowed by Memphis's kind of soft defense in the paint that we kind of saw throughout the first 20 minutes of the game. It was a really weird first half overall because, Memphis was in complete control. You could feel it, but the score just never really reflected that. I mean, Tulsa was turning the ball over all over the place. Memphis was making all the plays it needed to offensively, but the Tigers were just giving up too many soft looks in the paint, and that kind of kept Tulsa in it for a little while. Eventually kind of faded out, obviously. But, again, just a very perplexing first half overall. I didn't exactly know what to make of it, really.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I thought from my perspective, Tulsa played pretty solid defense against Memphis. Yes, Memphis wasn't hitting the three-point shot, not making a lot of jumpers, period. They did well in the paint, but I thought Tulsa did a solid job on the defensive side for a team that, as you wrote in your article, 237th in adjusted defensive efficiency? Yeah, that's awful. That's technically terrible. So the fact that they defended so well against Memphis, I thought was impressive. I was not expecting that type of defensive effort at all. They the conscious effort to double team Dane Danger. They didn't overhelp on three-point shooters. I thought they played solid defense. But with that said, I'm with you. Memphis still had full control. They just weren't hitting shots. It was definitely a weird first half.
They were hitting shots. They weren't hitting that many three-point shots, but they were hitting shots.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They shot 52% in the first half. Tulsa shot 54%. So it didn't feel like, Memphis was kind of splashing the ball in like that, even though they were scoring all over the place still. The offense was great in both halves.
Yes, especially yes, that's what I mean. Points to the paint, they dominated. Most of their points were from the paint. But in the second half, I said this in the Discord that if anyone besides PJ Carter can figure out a way to throw a basketball into the ocean, then I think they're just going to build a double-digit lead and pull away. And that's basically what happened. Memphis got hot from deep in the second half. Was that the big catalyst for you, three-point shooting in the second half, leading to this result for the Tigers?
Yeah, and just, better defense in the paint overall. You saw Memphis challenge Tulsa a lot more on that end. And that was the real separator. But, yeah, the big noticeable thing is Memphis just getting really, really hot from three-point range in the midst of the second half. Haggerty hit, 2 or 3 in a row during that little stretch. Rogers hit a tough one. You saw Tyrese Hunter hit a 3. Dane Danger really playing a little bit of free safety tonight. There were a few interception-like plays that he made. Francis, obviously you're not here, so you didn't see it, but they're now doing like a graphic for whenever Dane Danger does something good or whatever on the scoreboard. It's like the red backdrop, the big Danger name in all caps with the hazard signs and all that. Like they got a whole on like graphic going on for Dane, and no one on the team, not even PJ, is getting that kind of treatment from the media team there. So I think that just goes to show the kind of impact that Dane has really been making on this team in a positive way over the past month. So, yeah, obviously PJ is going to be the story here tonight because he's facing his former team, and he had a very good outing. But let's not discredit what Dane did in both halves, for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'll just pivot into the player of the game for you, Roman, before you got to get out of here. Give me your player of the game.
I mean, it's still PJ Haggerty. Let's not get anything twisted there. Haggerty was still pretty much unstoppable in the offensive end, and that big three-point run stretch that he kind of led the charge in the middle of the second half, pretty much clinched it for him. But again, don't count out Dane. I thought Tyrese made some really solid plays. Overall, I think the top guys really carried you in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. That this was basically the big three of PJ, Danger, and Tyrese Hunter being the main catalyst for this result. Yeah, PJ Haggerty, absolutely incredible. 23 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 10, 4, 16 from the floor, 3 of 5 from deep. If PJ Haggerty is hitting threes, which he's done a pretty solid job doing so this year, he's unguardable. He's straight up unguardable. There's not much you can do against PJ Haggerty if he's hitting those step back threes where your defender basically just has no chance, just no shot. And PJ was hitting his threes tonight. But for me, just to give love, like we said, can't ignore what Dane Danger did. Dane, 21 points, 4 blocks, 3 steals, 4 assists, 6 boards, 10 for 14 from the floor. For my money, this is one of the most complete Dane Danger games that we've had from him. Just stuffing the stat sheet, right? 21 points, 4 blocks, 3 steals. I mean, 4 blocks, 3 steals, that's Jaren Jackson Jr. type numbers right there. That's not typically what you see from Danger, but his effort was awesome.
Jaren Jackson Jr. would get like 10 blocks against Tulsa. Let's not get that. Yeah. Let's not get that twisted. We're not comparing Dane Danger to Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes.
Yeah,
not comparing. Yeah. It just in terms of how effective he was across the board, Danger was awesome. Coach Kelly says player of the game for me, Dane Danger. So you heard it from Coach. He gives it to Dane. I think you can't go wrong with either Danger or PJ Haggerty. Both of them were absolutely incredible. So yeah, really, really solid win. Do you have a moment of the game, Roman, that really sticks out that you can write home about?
Yeah, I think it's when Memphis turned into the Golden State Warriors in the middle of the second half. I think that's the pretty undeniable play or moment or sequence of the game, whatever. I mean, basketball for me is more about sequences as opposed to individual moments. So I think the second would more so appropriately called just sequence of the game, because that's what we typically give this to, like that, just the whole sequence of kind of that big second half run that Memphis went on to first go up by 10, and then the 3-pointers kind of stretched the lead out to 20 plus. So yeah, that whole stretch there is definitely the moment of the game, if you will.
Yeah, just to add a little more context for anybody who couldn't watch the game, Memphis was only up 46-43 around the 60-minute mark of the second half. And then Memphis goes on a 9-0 run, hitting 3 straight threes. And at that point, it's just like, all right, game over. Like, this Memphis is in full control. Any tension that may have been in the building was released right away. when that 9-0 run happened. So yeah, I agree. That's got to be moment of the game for me. I liked. There's a cool moment that I liked when Dante Harris stole the ball off of a Tulsa rebound, and then he found Dane Danger for a big slam. That was a cool moment for me, just to see the effort from Dante Harris. I thought him and Okogie, he wasn't as impactful as Okogie, but I thought both of them as a whole had pretty solid.
Yeah, this real back and forth kind of competition, hot potato sort of situation with the backup point guard spot definitely continued tonight. One night, Dante Harris plays better. The other night, like tonight, for instance, Brock Okogie was probably a little better. Again, I still think that's something you need to sort out sooner rather than later if you want to be at your most successful. But again, you still have a month left in the AC play, so still a lot of time in theory to sort that out, for good.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them get extended run on the floor now. Dante looks to be getting a little more comfortable on this team. And Okogie too. Okogie struggled for a good part of the year, but he's starting to find his groove on both sides of the floor too. I mean, Okogie had, how many assists he had? He had 4 assists tonight. He tied the team for assists tonight. I mean, that's awesome from Okogie. That's what you're looking for. Energy, effort, making winning plays. That's definitely good stuff from Brock Okogie. But I do want to bring this comment up because you got called out, Roman. Yeah. Any honest comment on Nick Jourdain, which I don't know what this honest comment's coming from. I feel like we've been very fair about Nick Jourdain, but all right, go ahead.
Well, it'll have to wait because Penny Hardaway is here.
Oh, no. All right, next time then, Roman. Sunday then.
All right, see ya.
All right, man. That's funny. The timing of that could not have been better. Roman had to go magically when he gets called out in the comment section. No, I'm just playing. He's got to be in the forum to do the press duties covering the Memphis Tigers game for Bluff City Media. So you'll get the honest criticism of Nick Jourdain on Sunday, I'm sure, when I talk with him again. We'll talk about Nick in the second half of the show. We'll talk about more in detail of the second half in general. I know we touched on it a little bit with Roman just a moment ago. And hopefully I'll be able to be joined by Kenny Stubblefield as well. Kenny is in the FedEx Forum. He's got to do all the setups and everything. And hopefully he can find a spot, a quiet spot, if that's possible right now, in the FedEx Forum to come join us on Tigers Live. But to everybody in the comments, I see all the comments. I'll definitely be pointing them out, talking about them in the second half of the show. Be active. I see it. I like this comment here. Grizzlies killing it. Tigers winning. Butler not coming here. Nice. Shout out Chicken Unicorn for that comment. Yeah, good win for Memphis Hoops. And no Jimmy Butler. Maybe we'll talk some NBA later on the show too. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But good night for Memphis basketball for sure. All right, y'all. I'll send this to a commercial break, and I will see y'all on the other side.
The first player to come out and basically say, hey,
the team's the one that's
telling me I can't play.
If I am that caliber of player, you can't tell me when and when not to play. Like, the thing that I do is I play basketball. I enjoy going out and playing basketball. This whole mindset that you think guys not playing is going to make them play more is absolutely asinine. Mm-hmm. I have never seen not playing, not being involved means you're going to play longer. This has not been proven yet. We have now gone through this for years and years on this doing less, are you going to get more? Doing less means you'll get less. Because at the end of the day, a guy may get hurt just playing. So if I'm already restricting you on doing stuff and then you really get hurt, well, shit, you have now done nothing for us.
Right.
Everybody's like, we're tired of guys not playing, but what you don't realize is guys are not making these decisions on if they're playing or not initially. But what I will say is to those that are playing is take control and onus of your own career.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, and how in the world does Luka Doncic get traded to LA?
It really kind of boiled down to me that I thought Nico was just kind of tired of dealing with Luka. The first thing that popped into my mind, if everybody remembers that video last year, I think it was when the Mavs made the finals.
Yes.
Luka was with his dad drinking a beer.
Right.
Nico walked over, just took it out of his hand, dapped up his dad, didn't say anything to Luka, and just walked off. I think there has been tension a long time where I just think Nico didn't want to deal with it anymore. And there was issues about his weight. He doesn't work out. Like, they had to stop this man from drinking sweet tea. I just think there was issues, even though they made the finals last year.
Would you have traded Desmond Bain for Luka?
Yes.
Would you have traded John Morant for Luka?
Yes.
Would you have traded Jaren Jackson Jr. for Luka?
Yes.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right. Welcome back to Tigers Live. I see that Kenny is on the stream, so let me go ahead and add the man. Kenny, hello. How you doing?
My guy.
Let me do the,
Not only am
wide
I
shot here. There we go.
Oh, yes, sir. Listen, this is where PJ Carter just walked past me. This is where PJ shoots from. Actually, let's go over here. I'm gonna show you the PJ Carter shot. Right here. That's his spot right there. Bam. I don't want to embarrass everybody like that. My eligibility is up. My action is off.
Can you hear me, Kenny?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're in and out a little bit, but right now it's cool.
Hey, I'm staying right here. I'm staying right here.
All right, yeah, right there. Perfect. No moving. But Kenny, talk to me about that game, brother. How you feeling about that performance?
Listen, I say this to everybody. Like, I got to go back and rewatch games because I sit on the baseline, and at the home games, I sit on the baseline, and I'm watching the game through like a 5.5-inch screen. And so it's very tough for me to see a lot of the things that you guys see on the TV and roaming from, the bird's eye view. So it's hard for me to see. So I always try to go back and rewatch the games. But I will say this, man, it was lit in that FedEx Forum tonight, boy. It was so much fun.
Nice.
The energy in there was wild. Yeah, the energy was awesome. I don't know if they showed it during commercial break. 2 people hit $500 three-point shots in the game. 2 people.
No
2
way.
people. And it went bananas, dude. It was so much fun. I mean, the energy was off the charts. The amount of, excuse my language because I know you don't like it, the amount of shit talk that was going on between the teams, it was awesome, dude. The environment was fire. It was great. They had the neon thing going, which they only had that really during the introductions, but it was just a fun environment at the FedEx Forum tonight.
Hell yeah, I love to hear that, man. It seemed good on the broadcast, and especially whenever. Shout out to Jeff Mack, the PA announcer. Whenever Danger does something good, he does the Danger 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That's lit, man. That gets the crowd going. I love that. So, yeah, it seems like a good environment from my perspective. So I'm glad to hear that it was also good from your perspective as well. I want to bring this comment here. Go ahead.
If I have to be honest, I did see that Nick Jourdain sequence. Like, it's very hard for me to see it. It's very hard for me to see everything that happens, but that was not great, right? Like, not great. And I think your boy Tyler says he was horrible in the first half. Yes, he was not great in the first half. He had quite literally one of the worst sequences of basketball that I've seen him have, anybody have. It was rough. It was very, very bad. But I struggle with this, bro, because I am an ultra positive person, and I try to see the positive in everything. And let me tell you what, good on Penny Hardaway for taking him out of the game and getting his head right. Like, he was done. Like, that and one foul was off of, trying to get my face in the middle here. I don't know how to, there we go. The and one foul was off of a frustration of him airballing a free throw or airballing a 3-pointer when
Airballing a
afterwards
three.
he had airballed the free throw. I mean, just not getting back, getting frustrated, and then fouling on an and one was just a terrible sequence. Penny Hardaway took him out, took him out of the game, allowed him to kind of reset. And I will say he played a pretty critical role down the stretch, and especially when Musa went down. Right, like when Musa went down, Nick came in the game and had an assist, had a couple of back buckets, played really good defense, showed a lot of effort. And just did what Nick Jourdain does. And so, yes, was he bad in the first half? Yes, but he bounced back. And I look at that as a positive, man. Like, listen, sometimes we have to reconsider we have to reset, recalibrate our expectations on people, right? Like, what are our expectations on Nick Jourdain? We just don't make mistakes, right? And he made a lot of mistakes in that first half. But if you're looking for him to be a contributor to the point where, to the same degree, happen, that bad. What he does have is hustle, but he does have his height. He has that's what he has. And so, proud of Nick for bouncing.
Kenny, you're cutting out a little bit, bro. But I hopefully come back in. But yeah, no, I'm with you on Nick Jourdain. It's our jobs here. It's definitely to be open and honest with criticism, but also not ignore when good things happen. It can't just be
100%.
all criticism, but it also just can't be all praise. So criticism first. Yes, that first half was the worst sequence of basketball from Nick Jourdain I've ever seen. One of the worst sequences of basketball I've ever seen, just period. Not even just Jourdain. Like, I've been watching basketball my entire life. I played basketball since I was yay high. Like, that's awful. Like, to miss the air ball and free throw, and then to air ball and three, and then to not get back on defense, and then to foul a dude dunking and get the and one. Dude, that's tough. Like, but it's also all frustration. And so, like, your point about Penny subbing him out, and then not just subbing him out, having him not start in the second half. That's the first time Jourdain hasn't started half off the top of my head, right? Because he started basically every game this year,
Right.
And then that's probably the first half I've seen him not start before. And I don't know Nick Jourdain personally, but from everything I hear about him, from what you tell me about Jourdain, I don't think it's I don't ever think it's a lack of care from him. I think he cares a lot about this team, about how he plays, and about winning. I think he does care a lot. And so Penny taking him out probably sent shockwaves through his system where Nick's like, all right, I have to lock in. I have to matter out there. And that is all we ask for from Nick Jourdain. He has to matter on the floor. If he is a nothing, if he doesn't matter, if he doesn't give you anything on the floor, that's the problem. This man is too damn tall. He's too damn athletic. He's too good of just a natural basketball player to be a nothing on the floor. And so, you look at his stat line tonight. Yeah, only 2 points. But stat sheet wise, 1 block, 1 steal, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. That's pretty good, man. That's a pretty good night from Nick Jourdain. Yeah, he didn't score a lot, but that's still doing a good job filling the stat sheet. And that's what you want from Nick. You want him to do a little bit of everything and being impactful on the game of basketball. He just can't be a nothing. I've said this so many times. You cannot get nothing from Nick Jourdain if Memphis wants to reach the heights that they want to reach as a team. It just can't be nothing. So, yeah, good
I'll say
second half
this.
for him for sure.
Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. I'll say this. There are certain players that come through this city that will always hold a special place in my heart, right? Because of how they have treated the city, how they have stuck through tough times. And Nick is one of those guys. And so if you're asking me to give you an unbiased, opinion of that first half, it's not going to happen, bro. Like he is good every day for me, right? Oh, they can hear me? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they can hear me in the press conference room.
That's funny.
Sorry, Coach. But no, I just think that I'll have to talk quietly now.
Yeah, sure.
But no, I just think that obviously you need something from him. What he gave you in the second half might be what he gives you, and I think he gives you a lot more. He gives you more than what your stat line shows, right? Like he gives you more than that. So, yeah, Nick is good in my book, man.
Cool. Yeah. Well, very well said. It's funny. You said you have to talk quietly. Then I was like, no, I have to talk quietly, but I'm not there.
No, you're good. I got headphones in.
That was just what was my mental thought process. But Timo said here, we need to tighten up defensively. I still feel like our half-court defense teams are getting some really good looks. Tulsa shot the ball well enough to win the game. I want to talk about this because, from my perspective, the looks that Tulsa got, it was a result of, well, unfortunate, not the best three-point shooting defense for Memphis, not rotating well, leaving some dudes open, but also the easy looks Tulsa got were as a result of Memphis extending pressure and trying to play with pace, and Tulsa did a good job breaking press and getting looks at the basket. I don't think this was a bad defensive performance from Memphis. Tulsa, besides Tulsa shooting the ball well, I don't think it was a bad defensive performance. They still forced 16 turnovers. They had 10 steals for the whole game. You saw, but I think about 3 or 4 shot clock violations in the game as well. So I wouldn't call this a bad defensive performance. I wouldn't call it good, but I think it was okay. So, Kenny, how did you feel about the defense tonight?
I think it was clear that they needed to when Penny did implement the press that he has that he puts in. There are times where it's super effective and there's times where it's not. Tonight it was very effective. The game changed when he put the press on, and so yeah, I mean, I think in terms of defense, like there are, especially with Musa. Musa is a fantastic defender, and Tyrese is a fantastic on-ball defender, and I think that the rest of them struggle, right? But as a unit, there's going to be times where these guys get beat off the dribble. It happens. There's going to be times where they don't rotate properly. It happens. But I would say defense is still a weapon, if that makes sense. Like it was still a weapon. I mean, the defense is what the defensive intensity in the second half is what blew this game open. When Penny put the press on and they went and they started to speed Tulsa up, they ultimately were able to pull ahead. And so, was it a bad defensive game? I mean, I think that there were things about the game that I would say, man, they need to fix a little bit. They need to work on, but or not even work on, but just shore up a little bit. But all in all, the defense was still a weapon, and for me in the second half, it is what pulled them ahead in that game. Obviously, the three-point shooting, but they got a lot of open looks because they got a lot of steals. They got a lot of open looks because they were speeding Tulsa up, and Tulsa wasn't getting back. So, all that to say, I think that the defense was fine to me. I think we start critiquing it in a pretty heavy way. We're nitpicking, right? Like we're nitpicking a little bit.
Yeah, definitely some nitpicking, and against a team like Tulsa, right? Not a stud of the AAC by any stretch of the imagination, and then to see Tulsa shoot that well from the floor, I think the reaction from Timo is it's a fair reaction.
Oh,
but
100%.
I also do think it's totally fair reaction, but I also think that like you said, the defense is still a strength for this team. And you mentioned Cisse. How did it look when Cisse got hurt? Where were you on the floor? Did it look bad to you? I think he's okay, but
yeah, it looked bad. He held his outside of his knee. Everybody was freaking out. I'll be honest with you. It didn't look good. But then he got up and he put a little bit of weight on it. And then the more he walked off the court, the more weight he had on it. And by the time he got to the bench, he was able to walk very gingerly by himself. And didn't he come back in the game?
He did.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest with you. It happened right in front of me, and I was like, oh no, like it didn't look good. It's just the way he landed. It didn't look great, but I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
Well, I mean, like it's definitely a phenomenal sign. Not just a great good. It's a phenomenal sign that he was able to come back into the game and run up and down the floor. So, hopefully these next few days before Temple, he's able to, stay off the knee, rest it a little bit, ice it, heating pad, all the stuff. Hopefully he'll be good by Sunday. But I mean, I was scared too. I think all of us were scared because it's just how thin the front court is. We were all probably a little horrified, but again, I don't want to be doomsday here because he's okay to our knowledge. So hopefully that stays the case.
I mean, if there was anything structurally wrong, he wouldn't have come back in the game, right? Like, so it might have been a slight hyperextension. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was anything structurally wrong with his knee, he wouldn't have come back in the game. So,
yes, very, very good point. No question. I want to bring this comment here from Jacqua here. I think Memphis is better at half-court basketball. How about that, Kenny?
Stunning development.
How about that?
Stunning development.
How does that sound about this Memphis Tigers team, their half-court offense? How are you feeling?
I have a question. Is it? I guess it's Jacqua.
I guess.
Jacqua?
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's probably. I wonder if he's been a Memphis fan for years, because if he has been, or if this is his first year as a Memphis fan, welcome aboard. Number one, thank you for tuning into Bluff City Media. You're a constant presence in our Tiger coverage, and I appreciate that. But I think if this is his first year, he would understand how monumental of a statement he just made is, right? Like,
yeah.
When has Memphis ever been? I mean, damn ESPN announcers still use phrasing to describe the Tigers, and I'm like, are you watching the game? Like, John Crispin, are you watching the Tigers play?
Okay.
Oh, man. Congrats. Hey, it's good to meet you, man. For real, brother.
Sure.
But no, this team is just different, man. Like, this team is, I hate that phrase. If I ever hear the word chaos again, I'm gonna fly to San Diego and punch Francis Carlota in the jugular.
What?
I'm just looking for reasons to come to San Diego, bro. That's all.
There you go. All right, fair enough. Touche. Fair enough. But no, keep going.
No, but they are, and let me just tell you what it is, man. As a former big man, it's Dane freaking Danger, bro.
Dane Danger, man.
He is an impossible person to guard in the half court. If you don't double him, he's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah.
His footwork is impeccable. Impeccable.
It's good, Kenny.
Like, I want to sit down and talk with Dane and be like, Dane, how many years of ballet did you take? Because the way that he moves his feet is like, it's a freaking dance, bro. And it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He is so talented in the paint. And that's what makes them better at half-court offense. Is they've never had a guy like him on this team, ever. Penny has never had a guy in the front court that's been able to move and literally destroy in the paint the way that Dane Danger does. He's had guys who can jump. He's had guys who can rebound. He's had guys who are big. He's had guys who are little. He has never had a guy who's as big as Dane Danger is, who can move the way he moves in the paint. And so, yes, is he better is this team better in the half-court offense than previous Penny teams? Yes, it's because of Dane Danger. And it's because they are the number one three-point shooting team in the country.
Yeah.
When you combine a team that is lethal sharpshooters across the table, and then you add a dancing bear in Dane Danger in the paint, how do you stop it?
I know, man.
It's like literally. I wonder if coach sits in his office. I think so. Yes, ma'am. It's coach and some other people. They're just media. You walk on through. You're the best. You walk on through. You're good. I think what was I saying? I think coach literally sits in his office and is like, how many plays can I just draw up? Like I have too many options, right? Like I wonder if his playbook went from like, where's my camera? Went from like this to like this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
It's
just
incredible.
love I just love how Dane is also I love what he said about his game. He said he compares himself to Nas Reed. He watched a little Nas Reed film. And the only thing that Nas Reed has that Dane doesn't is a 3-point ball. That's it. But like when you watch Nas Reed play ball, how he uses his body to create separation and his footwork and his touch around the rim. Nas Reed has amazing touch around the rim. And Dane's touch around the rim is just silky smooth. He's so good in the paint. You hit the nail on the head. And I've said this many times before too. Memphis just has so many ways to score on offense if they're not turning the ball over. And I think for me, Kenny, I think this was the first game in I think really all season where Memphis in the half court they weren't really running that much in their offense. When they got out in transition, it was off of steals, but they didn't seem rushed on offense tonight.
Right.
PJ seemed to be more in control. Tyrese seemed to be more in control. And yes, Memphis wasn't hitting threes in the first half, so people were, questioning about the offensive performance. But as Roman said in the beginning of the show, Memphis was still pretty damn good from the field. They were still at 50%, and that's because they're generating really good looks around the rim. The 3-point ball just didn't match in the first half. But Memphis created good looks, and that is a sign of a good offensive team, a team that has many different ways to score the basketball in the half court. You have 3-point snipers. You have off-the-dribble ISO guys. You have guys who can get to the free throw line. You have an incredible paint scorer in Dane Danger. Then when you have Cisse in the game, you have a lob threat. You have a legitimate lob threat. And Cisse's getting better at catching those lobs. You saw a couple of alley-oops tonight. I was like, okay, Cisse, you caught that thing in traffic, and you finished that with authority. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
That Baraka lob to Musa was sick, bro.
Oh, that was crazy.
Sick.
I'm sure it looked great in person. It looked great on TV. Like
Wait till you see my camera. Wait till you see my camera shot.
Hell yeah. Cisse caught that ball, and I was like, whoa, there's like 3 Tulsa guys in his way. And he caught that and slammed it home in traffic. I was like, okay, Musa. Like that's what I mean by just cut the damn turnovers down. It's such a good basketball team offensively. Really good. If they just stop turning the ball over at such a high rate. And tonight, what happened, Kenny? 10 turnovers only. I'm sorry, 8 turnovers. I'm sorry, 10. 8 turnovers and 20 assists for Memphis. That's amazing, bro. 8 turnovers, 20 assists. That assist-to-turnover ratio, I don't know if you can ask for more for that assist-to-turnover ratio. If Memphis keeps that up, Timo said here early on, good assist-to-turnover ratio. If Memphis keeps that assist-to-turnover ratio for the entire year, we'll all see you in April. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll be cutting down nets if that's what Memphis can do on a consistent basis. Now, granted, it's the AAC and it's just Tulsa. I get it. But the point is, if Memphis can just limit turnovers, then I think this team can genuinely go really far because the offense is good. There's so many ways that they can hurt you on the offensive side. So, yeah, man, this team is a good basketball team, Kenny. Like, how many times do we have to keep saying that for people to believe us? How many times? Because I still feel like people don't believe us. This is a good team.
I would hope that those who are paying attention, who are tuning in on a Wednesday night at 9:35 to a Tigers live show, would appreciate the fact that yes, like they are a good team. If you're doubting that, then I think just like. I don't really know what else to say other than like the proof is in the pudding. It's like what you see, right? Like you just not only watch the game, but then look at the analytics of the game. If that's what you're into, if you're into the computer nerd stuff, like Roman Cleary is, if you are,
we love Roman. We love you, Roman.
We love Roman. But if you're into that, all you got to do is just look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie either. Like this team is fantastic, right? Like this team is a very good team. And Am I saying, like, I don't know, the next question is going to be, well, what do you expect them to, make a run in? I don't know. Like, it's the NCAA tournament. Like, it's impossible to guess that, right? Like, there's too many variables. But I'm telling you, this team is talented enough, coached well enough to where they can make a deep run. Will they make a deep run? I don't know. But they're talented and coached well enough. They're talented enough and coached well enough to make a deep run. I am more confident about this team making a deep run than I have been about any other team that Penny has had.
That's it right there, y'all. I mean, I can't say that any better myself. This is just a good team. There's a lot of games left in the season. Obviously, the book on the season is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
You to somebody.
Oh yeah,
Avery Braxton from Channel 24.
What's
This
up,
is the
Avery?
man, Francis Carlota. Can you hear? He said, "What's up?" You're on Tigers Live. Avery's the man. Avery,
Somebody.
he's the man. He's the man. All right.
I was worried about you, bro.
Is my camera still going in there?
Yeah.
Will you go? Would you? Thank you, man.
Cool. Heck yeah. Well, I know you got a lot to do, so I'm going to close this show with this comment from Healing and Self Love. Hey, Chubby Clay, give us at least one jumper.
Chubby Club. It's been so crazy. I was talking too loud. I'm sorry. They were yelling at me. It's my fault. I have been called Klay Thompson more than any. Like, I've gotten Kevin Love over the years. I've gotten
Love is good.
I've gotten Kevin Love, but not now. Kevin Love, he's too good looking. He's too skinny now. But if you go back to like UCLA Kevin Love with the shaved head and the pencil beard, it freaked my wife out. Like, that's how crazy it is. I don't know. I've never been called Klay Thompson. I take that as an offense towards Klay Thompson. Like, even though, like, you're calling, like, Klay's a good looking dude, right? Like, I
don't know if I think
he's
you're
a clown
a better looking dude than Klay Thompson. He's got the Squidward nose. That's what Klay Thompson has. I don't know if I call him a good looking guy.
What did they say? Did they say give him one free throw? Give him one free throw? Listen, I have been in the FedEx Forum long enough to know, do not F with the FedEx Forum staff. They will, not only will they save your life, they will take your life if you mess with their court when they're not out, when the game's not going on. So congratulations. I don't know if you saw, I know this is a Tigers podcast, but the Grizzlies fan that was resuscitated on the floor has made a recovery. He's stable.
Oh, thank goodness.
And is up and talking. Our good friend of the program, Doc Holliday, Channel 5, Doc Holliday, has been doing a lot of updates about it, and he is up and communicative. He actually, according to Doc, passed away twice that night. Passed away on the floor, and then passed away in the ambulance. His heart stopped twice. They were able to bring him back, and now he is up, talking, hanging out with his wife, communicating. I mean, just doing really, really well. And so, shout out to the FedEx Forum staff. So I don't mess with them, bro. They're tough. They're tough.
Incredible. Well, that's fantastic news. That makes me really happy to hear. No question. So, look, Kenny, I know you got to take stuff down. You got a lot to do to get out of here. I'll keep this going. Yeah, you go get home. You go get home, Kenny. You go do your thing. I'll close out this show. There's a couple of questions in the comments that I want to get at. So let me go at these. Let me answer the couple of questions here. But Kenny, you go do your thing, man. I appreciate you tuning. Appreciate you joining, bro. All right, everybody.
Appreciate you.
Okay, that was Kenny Stubblefield live from the FedEx Forum, as y'all saw. So shout out to Kenny. Always, he's the man. He's just the man. Awesome guy. Y'all know Kenny. Y'all love Kenny. I'm glad we were able to talk with him a little bit. He's always on the away games, so it ain't nothing new. Kenny, he's the man. He's always on this thing. But yeah, I want to just really quickly. I saw this comment question from Timo. Question: who's our best 3-point shooter? Rather, who do you feel like when they let it go, it's going to go in? I think every PJ Carter shot is going in. Man. Well, I'll tell you what, early in the year, I feel like every Colby Rogers shot was going in. I really did. because that high arcing shot, and I loved I love his one dribble pull up in the mid range coming off of a screen, or not didn't even have to be a screen. He's just one dribble pull ups in the mid range. They felt like automatic every time it left his hands. But nowadays it's not. He's still in a bit of a slump. I know he had a good second half against Tulane. He had an okay. Well, if I remember correctly, I don't think he had that good of a game against Rice. I could be wrong for saying that. Let me just check really quickly. I don't think he did, but it's kind of late, and I've been doing this for a little bit. So give me one moment. Check the box score against Rice. Colby, yeah, 1 for 6. Yeah, 1 for 6 on the floor, 1 for 4, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. Yeah, he didn't have a good game against Rice either. So he's definitely in a slump. But so right now, PJ Carter, I would prefer PJ Carter to take that 3 if needed. Because he's been looking really good. I love his form. I love his follow through. He's so balanced when he shoots the ball as well. I'm a big proponent of being balanced when you shoot the basketball, and PJ's mega balance. PJ Haggerty, he finds balance and it goes in. I'm not going to critique PJ Haggerty's jump shot. It goes in, man. So that's all that matters. But PJ Carter, yeah, him, Tyrese Hunter too. I think Tyrese is a hell of a shooter. He also is very balanced when he shoots. Rises up. You say phone booth Bain about Desmond Bain. You could say phone booth Tyrese because he's straight up, straight down, mega balance in his shot. So I think Tyrese is also a phenomenal shooter. And it goes to what? Let me find the comment. KJ said here, don't ignore the 3-point shooting. When we were talking about how good this half-court offense is, we can't ignore the 3-point shooting because they're the best 3-point shooting team in America. And that's a phrase I don't think I would have ever said about a Memphis Tigers basketball team in my life. And, the season isn't over. Will they finish number 1 in the country at the end of the season? I don't know. But the fact that we're in February and Memphis is the best 3-point shooting team in the country, I mean, that's nuts to me, especially entering this year where so many people were saying that 3-point shooting is what's going to hold this team back from being a good basketball team. You cannot ignore the 3-point shooting. They've been fantastic. I'll bring this other comment here from Coach Kelly. The reason the half-court offense is better, the hashtag danger zone. Period. End of discussion. Yes, Coach. Dane is the man. Dane is the man. I said this to Roman earlier, talked about Kenny, obviously. But just looking at the box score for Dane, 21 points, 4 blocks, 3 steals, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Come on, y'all. That's awesome. That's such a good box score. That is a complete basketball game from Dan Danger. He had 3 steals and 4 blocks. Are you serious? In a college game? 3 steals, 4 blocks? No, that's incredible. He had a phenomenal game today. He is the difference maker for this Memphis Tigers team. Y'all remember DJ Burns? I think that was his name, DJ Burns, who played for North Carolina State. In the North Carolina State made the Final Four run. Dane Danger could have a DJ Burns-esque mark in the NCAA tournament. He could go on a run where he averages these numbers, where he puts up 20 a game with maybe say 20 a game, 1.5 blocks, maybe a steal, and then you get 5 rebounds and 4 assists from Dane Danger. He could very easily do that in March against the best competition because nobody in the country can guard this man one-on-one. And then if you double him, he's getting better adjusting to double teams. He's getting better at passing, making better decisions, slowing the game down. He's improving when teams have to double Dane Danger. He's been great. And so I think there's a real chance that if Memphis makes it far in March, you're going to be looking at a Dane Danger that could go on a run, just like DJ Burns did from North Carolina State last year. I think it's DJ Burns. If I'm saying his first name wrong, I apologize. I'm pretty confident that's it. But yeah, Danger's the man. He was absolutely incredible tonight. And as Jacquard said here, Danger is the more experienced player on the team. Yeah, that's also true. Danger has a lot of experience. That's also another positive about this roster. it's a really experienced roster as a whole. Tyrese Hunter, excuse me, pardon me. Tyrese Hunter has been in college basketball for a while, and really, it's wild to think that PJ Haggerty's only a sophomore. It's pretty weird to think about that because he plays so composed. He plays very maturely. He can turn the ball over a little bit and play a little quick, but overall, PJ Haggerty's in the Player of the Year conversation. So if you're in the Player of the Year conversation, you have to be a damn good basketball player. And the fact that he's in that conversation and he's just a sophomore in his first season with Memphis, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, PJ also has been incredible. So I'll end this show with what I was talking about with Kenny. And actually, I'll put this comment from Ran Goated here. Ran Goated, 100% we can make a run. Tiger fan since 10, graduated with Tariq Black at Ridgeway. I've never been more excited about where they can go. Oh, that's cool. Graduated with Tariq Black at Ridgeway. Hey, okay, it's a good shout. Very cool. Ran Goated, whatever, if that is your real name, awesome. Like, no judgment at all. But if it's not, whatever your real name is, I'm excited too. I'm really excited. And I think Memphis as a whole should be really excited too. Not just about the Grizzlies playing awesome basketball, but also about these Memphis Tigers. This team is really good. I'm not going to sit here and say that Memphis is going to win out in the season. They have a tough game against Temple on Sunday. They still have to go to UAB. That's going to be a blockbuster matchup in the AAC. But whatever happens in those games, this is a good team, y'all. They have a real chance to do damage in March in the NCAA tournament. And if they can just keep the turnovers down, keep playing together, the keep playing hard, you get more you don't get nothing from Jourdain. Rodgers finds his rhythm, PJ Carter stays hot. You get contribution from Dante Harris, Brock Okogie off the bench. Cisse, hopefully he stays healthy, but he continues to be an athletic defensive menace. You can catch lobs and finish with aggression. And then you just get what we always get from Dane Danger, PJ Haggerty, and Tyrese Hunter, our three-headed monster. This is a good basketball team. And I think that it's about time that people realize that this is a damn good team with real potential. So I'll close it there. To everybody who tuned into the show, thank you always. I know that both the Tigers and the Grizzlies played tonight, so a lot of stuff happening. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in to Tigers Live. Everybody in the comment section, y'all are fantastic. Thank you so much for getting involved in the show. Definitely means a lot to me. Means a lot to everybody. Means a lot to people at Bluff City Media. To Kenny, it's awesome. Thank you, everybody. As Timo said it here, hashtag Go Tigers Go. That's right. Go Tigers, y'all. And go Grizz also. It's Memphis Hoops, man. It's Memphis Hoops. This is what it's about. This is what we love. We love Memphis basketball. So I'll close it here. Yes, thank you. Absolutely, Dequa. Go Tigers Go as well. So I'll close it here, y'all. Be sure to subscribe to Bluff City Media. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Turn on the notifications so you get alerted for every single YouTube video that comes out on the channel. Night Court, Anthony Sain Show, Tigers Untapped, $2. I'm sure I'm leaving some out as well. We got so many awesome shows. No Bluffing podcast, just so many. We have so much awesome content. So be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, like this show, like Tigers Live on YouTube right now. If you're on Twitter, thank you for being on Twitter. Go to YouTube, hit the like button on YouTube. But until next time, I'm Francis Carlota. I'll see y'all Sunday.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Tigers Live. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next time.